I got a Pokemon book.
Alright, well, my daughter really wanted to tell you guys that she got a Pokemon book. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down in game number 1 of this series. This is going to be Happy versus Sonic. Game 1 of what I believe to be the finals of Gcup 77. Happy spawning as the red undead on the bottom right-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Sonic has spawned as the yellow night elf over here on the top left. Now, I do believe I'm going to be casting these over 2 days, as we see the Tree of Life sped up to 4 times speed and really cranking out those wisps. So yeah, I'll be casting these games over 2 days. If you guys are following my channel and have subscribed to me and get to see all of these videos pretty much as I cast them, thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so as I now slow things back down. Just now hitting that 2-minute mark, Altar of Darkness is showing that he is going to be opening up with ghouls. Meanwhile, Demon Hunter coming across on the other side of the map and is going to be going after this Ogre Warrior creep camp. Ancient of War getting in some damage on that Ogre Magi. It looked for a moment that the Ancient of War actually dealt the killing blow, but the Demon Hunter did in fact get that killing blow there, picking up a Ring of Protection +2 and leaving the Archer to finish off this last Forest Troll Trapper. Meanwhile, at the other end of the map, Death Knight now coming across here looking to take down this Ogre Magi. Skeletal minions are here. They are getting repositioned. The skeletal minions now trying to run away as the Wisp comes in to threaten a detonation. Now, so far, really well played. You can see that the Death Knight does have Claws of Attack +6, but it will not get to level 2 as it still does have, very importantly, well, a little bit more experience to get to level 2 as a skeletal minion could get taken down. There it goes, level 2 now from the Demon Hunter, as we could perhaps start looking at mana burns onto that Death Knight. Death Knight taking a little bit of damage there as it retreats back. Do we see a Nerubian Tower? Nerubian Tower is not yet done, but there is no real way Sonic knows when that tower will become operational, and with that slowing effect, it is very difficult for that Demon Hunter to escape, even with that Ring of Protection +2. Now, the game is going to pretty much open up getting into Tier 2 relatively fast by both sides. Both sides now just trying to make sure that they don't make any critical mistakes. Death Knight needs to make sure that the Demon Hunter is unable to get inside this location here, and he does have a Nerubian Tower which will prevent the Demon Hunter from doing all too much. Meanwhile, the Death Knight, on the other hand, wants to finish off this Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter is relatively fast, though, as the ghouls are now making their way over. Skeletal minions going to get taken down. A Null Poacher is all that you need to get that Death Knight to level 2. There you have it, level 2 now on the Death Knight with Death Coil, and he will be able to keep up those units fairly high on health. Skeletal minions now looking to back off here as the Demon Hunter most likely going to get off another mana burn, getting choked up on a sheep, as the Death Knight wants to buy perhaps Boots of Speed or maybe Dust of Appearance. Archer is now doing a good bit of path blocking there, as the Death Knight able to pick up Boots of Speed and now will be able to run away, gets a Death Coil off on his units here, as we now see the Forest, wow. It looked as though, wow, Happy is going to actually be in a little bit of trouble here. You can see that he tried to grab this one particular Forest Troll Berserker only to see it get intercepted by a sea of ghouls. And now, let's come across over here. Happy almost got another Forest Troll Shadow Priest as well. That is going to be some big experience gain already, as the Death Knight gets in another Death Coil to try to heal up those lower hit point units. Now, I guess it is better to constantly use that mana and not be able to get mana burned, as the Death Knight now coming in for the possible surround. Death Knight does have Dust of Appearance, now going after the archers. Are we going to see a Dust of Appearance? Yes, we are, and there goes an Archer. Meanwhile, Ghoul off to the north will not be able to get away at the hands of that Demon Hunter. Ghoul down to 36 hit points, and without the added benefit of that Unholy Aura, it will get taken down. Meanwhile, Death Knight now trying to intercept some units on the other side. Archer could get taken down. There's one blow. Another blow could do it. Well, one more blow now. There it goes. Panda unable to deal the finishing blow there to deny the experience, as the Panda is now a major threat with that Breath of Fire. Breath of Fire going across multiple units there. Low hit point Ghoul. Will it be able to get away? Death Knight still does not have Boots of Speed. Death Knight really wants to go after these units here, as a Naga Sea Witch could end up, well, getting in some slow onto some of the unsuspecting units. Breath of Fire now coming back around the other way. Ghoul. Wow, this fly is really bothering me. And this Ghoul now trying to run back again, as the mana burns now coming in onto that Naga Sea Witch. So far, not so good, as Happy trying to engage back and forth once more. Does have Boots of Speed and the Pause of Attacks. And who is really going to win out in this battle here? Death Knight has no easy way of trying to finish off the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter now going after the Naga Sea Witch. There's a Cold Arrow, and now running away once more. All right, Sheep back down on the ground there as the Naga Sea Witch trying to slither away as that Demon Hunter now sitting at 144 hit points. Death Knight may be able to get another Archer if the Archer does fall. No, it will not. Yes, there is a Sheep there. The Death Knight would have been able to finish off the Archer, get to level 3, and then perhaps try and Death Coil the Demon Hunter when he was still low on health. But the Archer able to heal back up and save from, well, a potential real catastrophe. Happy. Yes, there are a lot of sheep on this map. Death Knight now looking to aggro and going after the Ancient of War. That is going to be a lot of damage being absorbed here. You can take a look. Naga Sea Witch now coming in with the Cold Arrow. Mana burn onto the Death Knight already, as we see a Potion of Healing quickly used up by that Naga Sea Witch. Another mana burn could be coming across. Cold Arrows as another ghoul gets taken down. However, the Forest Troll Berserkers are dealing a lot of damage, and the Demon Hunter may end up, well, no, Demon Hunter looking to be okay for right now, as we may see a final blow. No Scroll of Town Portal finally coming across, as we now see the Ancient of War going to get taken down. Now, let's take a look at what's happening here. Happy's going to have a small window of opportunity to try and clear out this creep camp, going after the Forest Troll Berserker first, picking up a Manual of Health. Meanwhile, now going after some more units. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability has been picked up as well and transferred to the Naga Sea Witch. Death Knight now sitting at level 3. Is he going to be able to finish this off? No. His spider sense is tingling, knowing that the Demon Hunter and Panda is nearby. And with that, opts to, well, back off for just a moment, sees the units again, and is now backing off once more. All right, Demon Hunter could get a big mana burn onto a Naga Sea Witch or a Death Knight. You can take a look. The Null Overseer sitting at an uncomfortable 390 hit points. The Death Knight is just trying to stay within relevant range, perhaps to get a Death Coil off onto something. Meanwhile, the Panda gets a Breath of Fire, blows over another ghoul as the slow poison from the Dryads allows for another quick death. Happy is in serious trouble once more. Death Knight, is he going to be able to get the Death Coil? Yes, he will. Gets the experience. Does not get the item, which is just a Wand of Illusion, as we should be looking at Obsidian statues now. Happy has transitioned into the mid-game. The Obsidian statues, the Crypt Fiend, should be helping out tremendously. Higher damage mitigation. But there is not much of a front line. Death Knight really needs to work alongside and get a Lich. As we can see, Lich is already being trained. We are at Black Citadel, obviously, with the training of a third hero, as Bears are now in play as well. Druid of the Claw, ready to engage. There goes another Null Warden here, as the Null Overseer is still doing a bit of chasing. Dryads coming across here. Are we going to see more damage being added? It looks as though we are, as the Naga Sea Witch getting into position. Sheepy. All right, coming back across here. No Warden looking to engage. Naga Sea Witch is in the backfield. There's a long distance Death Coil again, as the Death Knight able to steal and deny a little bit more experience once more. Panda still sitting at 1. Demon Hunter still sitting at 2. Death Knight is sitting at 3, while the Naga Sea Witch is about 2/3 of the way to level 2 herself. The Lich will be making its way out in just a moment, most likely picking up an Orb of Corruption. That added -5 armor so much cannot be overstated, as we are now looking at the Null Overseer getting taken down here. Demon Hunter is not going to get to level 3 here. I do not believe. Well, actually, could it get really close? It could get very close, but I still do not believe. Yeah, it will not get to level 3. 472 out of 500. Needs 28 experience more. Meanwhile, the Death Knight off over here clearing out this creep camp. Lich should get to level 2. Witch should get to level 2. Lich is going to stay at level 1 unless the Naga Sea Witch backs off right as it gets to level 2. There it goes, at level 2 now, and it is not going to be enough experience for that Lich to get to level 2. Back in the center portion of the map, Death Knight has used a Potion of Invisibility. There is a lone archer right here, and the Death Knight could just stand right there and get some damage. Sheepy is right there as well. Death Knight not too far away. Death Knight could easily just land a Death Coil to finish off that archer, as we're now looking into the center portion of the map. Frost Nova onto that unit. Is the Death Knight going to do anything? And oh, the Death Knight is trying to path body block with a very, nicely done there. But a Breath of Fire takes down both the Crypt Fiend and that Ghoul. Death Knight unable to really get the body blocks that it needed to. Lich currently low on mana after a 100-point mana burn. Death Knight could have finished off an Archer, decided not to, as we're looking at Sonik with 48 supply compared to Happy only sitting at 38. Happy now significantly behind. He does not even have the hero advantage that he had moments ago, as Dryads are now being added as well. Lich now being forced to retreat.
A player's forces are under attack.
Yep, Sheepy, she just saw as the Dryads with 1-0 currently slow poisoning the Lich back down across here. Now the Death Knight is keeping track of the Night Elf army. Demon Hunter has not used Boots of Speed. Excuse me, Dust of Appearance. I believe he had Boots of Speed at one point. No, he never had it, as the Demon Hunter is still running around in the center portion here. Now, are there enough Dryads to really deal with the destroyers that Happy will eventually ultimately be getting? That is going to be the big question, as we can see the Obsidian statues 550, and we now see a bit of an engagement here. All right, Crypt Fiends now trying to run away. Ghouls are a little bit slow. Orb of Corruption getting in that -5 armor, making it very difficult for those Dryads to stay alive, as the damage is now starting to add up slowly but surely. Druid of the Claw, 580. Let's see, Lich sitting at 110, 112 mana. Will it be able to get enough for a Frost Nova, as we are at 48 over 60 supply compared to 49 over 60. We know that Sonik has a much bigger bank, as Happy has a rather smaller bank, but he does have a Frostworm in play, and that Frostworm could be a very big difference. Ghoul is going to get taken down, but a bear lost in that engagement as well. Another bear could get taken out as well. There goes another. That Frostworm absolutely destroying things. As you can see, that Frostworm is just doing a great job trying to finish off all of these units. Meanwhile, Crypt Fiends can go after the Dryads, and the Dryads are still taking more damage. Back off to the north here. Are we going to see a Staff of Preservation? I do not believe so. There goes another bear, as the Ghouls are now chasing after those units there. All right. Shade trying to get into position. Demon Hunter down to 138 hit points. Ghouls unable to finish off the Archer here, as we now see a Staff of Teleportation. Death Knight does not have Dust of Appearance, but he is still chasing after all of these units once more. Cold Arrow was not launched. Destroyer trying to go after the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter going to be able to head back home and heal back up to safety with a rejuvenation and perhaps some mana from these Moonwells. Death Knight still wandering around. More items being transferred. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability given to the Lich. Naga Sea Witch is getting closer to level 3, but not yet quite there. Lich not even that close, as we're looking at the Death Knight getting rather close to 4. Healthstone now used. Death Coil onto the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter now trying to run away. Panda going to get into position and try and get perhaps a Breath of Fire, but without that many ghouls, it's not going to be doing all that much damage. Frostworm now trying to get back up onto high ground. It gets finished, as the Demon Hunter now using a Potion of Invulnerability to stay alive for just a little while longer. Death Knight now in a little bit of trouble. There goes one unit there. Forest Troll Berserkers looking to engage, as the Death Knight may be able to get to level 4 off of this particular creep camp. He is healing back up rather nicely. Tome of Agility +2. Wow, Death Knight just shy of level 4, as the Naga Sea Witch does in fact get to level 3 on the nose.
Player's forces are
Ghoul in the center portion of the map here needs to perhaps retreat and run away. There's an Archer, and is that Ghoul going to finish off that Archer? I do not believe so. That's an unfortunate position for Happy, as he pretty much freely gives up a Ghoul that he forgot about and lost control of. 54 over 70 supply, or 61 over 70 at 272, compared to 48 over 960 at 980. All right, more gold could be added. Happy now looking to get into a better position once more, trying to get more gold and then explode into low upkeep in just a moment. Okay, at the end, Arya. All right, Happy now still wandering around here. Death Knight's picking up a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability and a Scroll of Healing You can take a look, 48 over 60 supply, not enough lumber so far as we are going into the improved creature attack. We are going to be going into 2-0 upgrades momentarily. The Dryads already at 2-1 upgrades, as Sonik is winning out in pretty much every aspect of the game. Let's take a look at this. The Red Drake will get taken down. Dryads, and lots of them, focusing down those units. Are we going to see a influx or a larger number of Crypt Fiends coming in from Happy? I do not see that as of yet, but we really need to see those Crypt Fiends get stronger in numbers. Otherwise, the Dryads will be able to tear apart those Frostworms and those Destroyers. The bear count is hardly noticeable. Only 3 or 4 right now. 4 Druids of the Claw, only 1 bear, as the rejuvenation now continually being used. Tome of Agility apparently not wanted by the Demon Hunter. Yeah, no one wants to take that book. That's right, heroes don't like to read at all. All right, Death Coil onto a Wisp right there, so nicely played by the Death Knight. Death Knight now knowing where his opponent is, knowing that there's an expansion there, and we should be seeing another Wisp being trained up here in just a moment. Meanwhile, Lich is at 3, Naga Sea Witch is at 3, so we're at 4-3-3 compared to a 4-3 right now. Hero advantage goes to Happy, but can he translate that into a victory? That is going to be the big advantage right now, as we're at 75 over 80 compared to 79 over 80. 2-0 upgrades, I believe. No, 1-0 upgrades compared to 2-1 upgrades. Did the improved creature attack? Wow. All right. In the time, apparently it is not going to 2-0 upgrades, only 1-0 upgrades. I did not click it over in time, as the Frostworms 94 to 127 damage per attack. All right, Lich getting into position. Where is he going to be traveling to next? How much damage can he really do? Dryads are sitting at 2-1 upgrades. Huntress Hall is not having anything at all, as we are getting a single Ancient of Wind, perhaps for Druids of the Talon and Fairy Fire. That negative armor is very effective,
A player's forces are
as we are now still looking at a Dust of Appearance, revealing a Shade as the Shade gets taken out by the Night Elf army. Double Frostworms, triple Frostworms, with a whole bunch of Crypt Fiends now pretty much appearing out of nowhere. This attack and this engagement now going to go down. All right, that bear going to get focused down and melted in an instant. Pit Lord coming in from behind. And are we going to perhaps see something there? Rain of Fire being used, taking down some of those big units. All right, Staff of Preservation, as we see perhaps a Druid of the Claw going to... Wow, I thought the Panda was saved, but he actually was not. There goes the Demon Hunter, and Happy really flipping the script there and able to deal a lot of damage. There are still a handful of Crypt Fiends left, but there are still an army of Dryads. Is it going to be enough, as we see four Crypt Fiends trying to go after all of these Dryads? The Frostworms hiding back up onto high ground, knowing that they can live to fight another day. And Sonik is now in serious trouble, as Happy really just burst onto the scene with a large number of units. All of a sudden, Death Knight purposely getting back. You see some detonations there, more detonations there. Lich using Dark Ritual once more, and there goes a Wisp with the detonation again. All right, Army of Happy now making its way off to the north, and it looks like this will be the beginning of the end. Army of the Night Elf, 52 over 70 compared to 67 over 90. Here's the engagement. Destroyers now looking to back up here, as the Crypt Fiends are taking a lot of damage. There's a Death Coil Frost Nova, as the Demon Hunter is completely resurrected. There goes Rain of Fire. Units are now looking to back off again, as the Crypt Fiends are now looking to, well, back up. So far, we see a lot of damage. Crypt Fiends surviving at 6 hit points. Not quite sure how he is still alive at this point, but Happy winning game number 1, leading in every category except for Gold Mined. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, or resources. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1. Please stay tuned for game number 2.